Here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's running of the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series here tonight at Talladega, bringing it back. And Will, I'm excited for tonight.
Oh, yes, sir, Tim. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
There we go. It must be the Talladega air. I am excited for tonight, and I'm excited for JT Poole. We had him on the countdown to green, and he was telling us about how this is his home track, and he actually grew up outside of Talladega and remember seeing Dale and Dale Jr. race at the track. So if anybody to keep an eye on tonight, it's definitely JT Poole.
Hometown. We'll call him the hometown hero here for tonight at Talladega.
There you go. I like it.
I'm going to take a quick look here if I can find it. I'm going to pull up the point standings. We've not really talked about that. Let me see. Oh, here we go.
Talk about the point standings. I think that was mentioned, Tim, in the chat there. It's almost a virtual tie between second and through fourth place. But Nathan Maurer, he's running away with it.
Oh,
Seems
man. You're right. Second through fourth. Martin Pluth sitting in second place, 17 behind your leader, Nathan. And then 1 point behind him, Jason Shrew. Then 2 points behind Martin Pluth, Justin B. White. And then 7 points. I'm sorry, I'm reading this incorrectly. 10 points behind him is Stan Hausman.
All the viewers need to know is that if Nathan picks up another win tonight, it's going to be hard for the rest of the field to catch him at the top of the table. And just want to say it's good to have you back in the booth here tonight. I know we missed you for a few broadcasts, and excited to have you in here for this Talladega. And we're about halfway through the Super Speedway series here, Tim.
Yeah, I can't believe, it starts and it just flies by, literally. And currently we're looking at last week's winner, John Cannizzaro, in that 174. He was last week's winner, right?
I believe JT Poole was the winner last week.
Oh, I'm thinking 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know.
I said, we've missed it, too.
Listen here. I shouldn't speak before I know what I'm talking about.
All that we need to know is that tonight's going to be an exciting one, Tim. And there wasn't many provisionals taken for this week's race, and I think everybody's excited to take on Talladega, and it should be a very fun one tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait. Talladega is one of my more favorite tracks. It's really a toss-up between Daytona and Talladega, but Talladega there's so much better racing as Shane Tierney turns his first lap on the pole position right now. Well, Shane LeDoux just took that away. Both teammates, though. Stephen Ford, another threat level midnight. Right now, they're holding 1, 2, 3 down right now.
That's a team to definitely keep an eye out for. And talking about keeping an eye out for them now, Tim, I know you've raced with these guys before, and I don't think I've called the Talladega race for this series before. Who did you keep an eye on tonight in tonight's event?
I'm going to say somebody you really got to watch out for, and he has been very close to pulling something off. Justin White in that number 2 Chevrolet is going to be one to watch here tonight, I believe.
Yeah, Justin White. Yeah, he has been very competitive, as you just showed the point standings there. I believe he's in the top 5 of those points. So if he picks up a victory or another victory tonight, he's in 4th. So he just needs to snag a victory tonight, and I think he'll put himself in prime position to take that championship. And man, Tim, I can't believe we're halfway through here, and whoever takes down Talladega tonight is going to put themselves in quite a position to take down that Nathan Maurer at the top.
And another statistic, Justin White has 5 races. He started all 5, okay? He has 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. So only once did he finish out of the top 10.
Man, he has been really consistent, Tim.
And right now, Justin White's going to go up to 3rd with that lap time, with Shane Tierney in 2nd and John Cannizzaro in 1st. Christopher Darling 4th, Martin Pluth 5th, Chris Brown. I don't think it is the Chris Brown, but in that number 977, he's number 1 on the screen, but my number shows a different one. And Isaac Singleton out there right now in that number 95 Chevrolet. Looks about half the field has elected not to qualify. And there's your points leader right now, Nathan Maurer.
Nathan Maurer actually is our points leader. Yeah, he's mounting him down there, Tim.
Listen, I'll get it right one day. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, no, I believe, Tim, actually, half the field not electing to qualify could be a result of the action we've seen the past few weeks in the Superspeedway series. A lot of the field, we've seen a lot of accidents towards the end of the race, so maybe they're just keeping an eye on, maybe they just want to position themselves in a prime position not to get caught up in one of those wrecks there towards the end. We saw last week, actually, went to overtime again in back-to-back events, and JT Poole was actually able to make a last lap pass to get that victory last week as the leaders were crashing out. So keep an eye out for that carnage there at the end.
And this is going to be a good race. You got Mashburner electing to start in the back while his teammate Christopher Darling starting up in fourth in that number 11. And for the first time here on 10-4 Broadcasting, the fans are back in the stands. We decided to lift the COVID restrictions on them, and we let them come back into the stadium.
We surely did, Tim, and they know how competitive an event this is going to be tonight. And if the virtual fans are in, oh no, yeah, if they're in for a treat, we're in for a treat as well.
So let me ask you, halfway through the season, who are you watching here tonight? Do you think somebody's going to pull off an upset, first-time winner, or is it going to be a repeat winner here tonight?
That is an excellent question, Tim. We've just seen a lot of consistency. I know it's kind of cliche to pick out the top guy in the series, but Nathan Maurer has really just shown consistency in every race we've seen so far. Although we've seen a lot of guys get to the top of the pack in some of these events, it's just not their day towards the end and they get crashed out. So maybe we see an underdog tonight take that event, but I got to go with the most consistent driver all year round, and that's been Nathan Maurer.
Now, I do want to say to you, a very interesting statistic. This time last season, Christopher Darling already had a couple of wins stacked up underneath him. He is right now at 0 wins on the series. Only one top 5. And he is 55 points back from the leader in 10th position.
As I said, you start racking up victories in this, Tim. We got about 6 races to go in this Max Graphix Superspeedway series here. And if you start racking up those victories, you can put yourself in a prime position. Although Nathan Maurer has only won one time in this series, it's those top 10s and those top 5s he's been racking up throughout this series. It's really kept him in the top of the table. But if someone can start racking up those wins, we can definitely see somebody take this championship.
Yeah, and let's see Jason Shrew back there in that number 3 Firehouse Chevrolet or Ford Mustang. I'm sorry, not used to seeing the number 3 on a Mustang.
That's an odd sight, and no doubt. Now, before the green flag drops, Tim, what kind of strategy do you think these drivers are going to take tonight, being a fellow iRacer yourself? Do you think it's going to be that inside lane that we've seen in some of these super streetways, or do you think it's going to be that top side?
In all honesty, everybody knows, they've watched this long enough. I'm a sucker for that top lane at Daytona Talladega, and I will go there every time, with or without somebody. And I think tonight's winner is going to come from that top lane. Whoever can get a good pack of cars behind them and get going, they're going to be set. And Shane Tierney's going to be starting at a really good spot with a really good pusher right behind him in that number 11.
Yeah, possibly we could run the viewers through the starting grid here now that I know you said half the field didn't elect to qualify. Let's run through the top 10 if we could.
We got John Canzonaro starting in first, Shane Tierney in second, Justin White in third, Christopher Darling fourth, Chris Brown 5th, Martin Pluth 6th, Shane Ward 7th, Isaac Singleton 8th, Shane Ledoux 9th, and Stephen Ford is your top 10 as the pace car is down pit road. And Will, it's time to go green here at Talladega.
Let's go, baby. Let's let them listen to the sights and sounds of Talladega as they cross that that line.
Oh, Justin White come really close to that inside of Shane Tierney. That's another thing we're going to have to watch out for here tonight is cars drifting up and down the track. All it takes is a little clip, and you can take out half the field. And a reminder for the fans watching, they only get one reset here tonight. And you got to use it wisely. Is it one or two? I think it's one.
It is one, Tim, but you got to make sure you time that at the right time, because if you use it too early and you get caught up in one of those late race accidents, you're in a bad shape there.
And Shane Tierney is going to lead that first lap with Christopher Darling. He's going to drop down in front of that bottom line. I think that's a bad idea because now you've got Christopher Darling and Martin Pluth on the outside lane, and they are teammates, and they know how to get around this track. Oh, John has decided he wants no part of this. He's going to drop to the back of the pack.
Tim, that was a driver that I neglected to mention as the broadcast came on was Martin Pluth. He has really shown his stride this year as well, picking up the victory in this series. So that's another guy to keep an eye out tonight.
Right now, Christopher Darling leaves his Tango partner and goes to the inside, now leading that inside lane. But to the outside, Martin Pluth coming along strong with that number 39 of Shane Ward. And a lot of guys elected to go to the outside lane. Now, oh, Darling's going to play the back and forth game. I don't think that's going to work to his advantage, though, heading down this backstretch. Quite a few guys fanning out, finding the lane that they want, and your points leader really slicing and dicing right now, as well as Ben Mashburn. Ben Mashburn's up 9 spots since the drop of the green flag. As we're going to go ride on board with him.
Car Cam Review is brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting.
Oh, a lot of things getting dicey up here. Justin White drops back there 3 wide here and just for 3rd place.
Coming hard down into 2 there, coming down onto the backstretch here. You're seeing a tandem really pull away. Tim, you mentioned that as the broadcast started. If those tandems can start to stack up, then you're seeing 2 heavyweights at the top of the field here in Chris Darling and Martin Pluth. If they can hold that lead, man, they might run away with this 57-lap race here.
It's going to be hard, though. Tierney back to the outside lane. Getting a good group of guys behind him. You got Ben Mashburn behind him in that number 24. If there's anybody I want behind me at Talladega, it's that 24. And now look at Doug Neal and Nathan going to the very outside lane against the wall. Teammates right there, making it 3 wide.
Three wide at Talladega. You can't get enough of that action, Tim. As we got Chris Darling leading him down the front stretch, going to cross the line here. 6 laps into this 57-lap shootout here in the Graphix Superspeedway. Brought to you by Beer Street Journal. And Tim, they are 3 wide on the front stretch.
Man, this is some really good racing right here. I'm wondering if anybody's going to go to that outside lane with those 2 teammates of the Simbucks. Those are some nice paint jobs. But that 39 Shane Ward just went up. got behind them, that would really improve their line, and that's what he's going to do right here, heading down the backstretch. Oh, 4 wide. Oh, the 86 thought different of it, came back a little bit. Whoa, that's the problem. You got to worry about that 24. He's pushing up the track, able to hold it, but that's not good for that outside lane.
Across the front stretch, you're going to cross the line here, Tim. 7 laps into this race here, and it has been virtually 3 wide since we dropped the green flag at Talladega in this Max Graphix Superspeedway, Tim. And we're going to go 3 wide down into 1. Coming around 2, we're going to stay 3 wide. It's going to be Chris Darling, still your race leader, going to lead that pack. Right behind him is going to be Martin Pluth, and number 4 going to come down the backstretch here. And we have been 3 wide this entire race. Whoa! Oh, we might see something there on the backstretch. Oh, good save there, Tim.
Man, that was a bad block by Shane Tierney. He tried to come up in front of Ben Mashburn, and now he has scattered this field out. No longer are we 3 wide.
You got to do what you got to do, Tim. You get stuck in that middle lane, you lose your draft partner. You got to make those evasive moves to save your car. Maybe you'll take out the field, but hey, you got to do what you got to do if you want to take this victory in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series.
Now our biggest mover of the race, Jason Shrew, in that number 3, in that inside lane, all the way up 12 spots right now, sitting in P6.
Definitely going to keep an eye out for as we're coming down the backstretch here. We're 8 laps into this race. It's still Chris Darling, your race leader, with Mark Pluth right behind him as they dig down into 3. Looks like that preferred line so far is that inside lane as they dig down into 3. It's still Chris Darling, your race leader.
Coming out of turn 4. Oh, Tierney. Tierney's kind of looks like he's pushing. He's loose. He's got Wyatt to the inside of him, Nathan to the outside of him. This is where things got dicey last time, but he's trying to work with his teammate there of Stephen Ford in that number 27. Team threat level Midnight here, coming across the start finish line, heading into turn 1.
And it's still Chris Darling, your race leader, with Mark Pluth right behind him. But we're seeing a lot of speed build up on that outside tandem lane. And we are seeing that leader pull off a little bit there. There has been a lot of speed at the top of the pack here, but I'm sure we'll see a caution at some point in this race, the way these boys have been racing tonight as they come around forward, Tim.
And that Simbox team really likes that lane right up against the wall.
Ooh, you're seeing big moves on the front stretch, and you see 2 cars right in the middle of the lane. We're going to see who's going to be the leader. Going to see if they're going to have enough speed coming down into 1 here. It's going to the 27 car. Trying to see who that is. I think it's Ford of that 27. He's digging. Now he's pushed. Oh, we got a wreck with the leaders. We got a wreck with the leaders digging down into 1. We saw it coming, ladies and gentlemen. We saw the diciness building up. Man, already, Tim, we were 10 laps into this race. We already have a caution. This is exciting action.
And Christopher Darling is not going to be happy about how his car looks right now. It looks like it's struggling to get it going.
And Tim, I don't want to say you put the commentator's curse on him, but that was your pick for the evening. So
that's true.
Maybe he can get that fast repair going. As we mentioned, these boys get one of those, and as you saw, the fast repair was just kind of engaged there. He starts seeing him rolling a little bit more there. Maybe he's engaging that, and then we'll see him back at the lead.
You see look how far to the right he has to turn just to go straight. And it looks like he's going to take this thing and tow it to the infield.
And that was our first caution of the night here, Tim. And, man, exciting action so far here on 10-4 Broadcasting. We appreciate everybody for tuning in here tonight. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, we do appreciate that. If you'd like to give us a like, follow all that good stuff, all the iRacing action that we provide for you. And then here you go, Tim. You got that 10-4 Broadcasting replay revved up for us. Let's check it out.
Oh, listen, I'm trying to find the best spot for us to take a look at this one. We're going to go all the way back to the start-finish line where this started, where these guys started taking it 3 wide. And we're going to see heading off into turn one here. Stephen Ford in that 27. You can see he's going to come down. He's going to get, looks like he's going to get a bump from the 19, his teammate. Yep, right there. Turns him right into the number 11, down into the 4. Actually, Pluth came out clean from that. But Christopher Darling goes for a wild ride. Look at that. Takes the points leader. Doug Neal, Justin White. A lot of guys involved in this one.
Oh, man, Tim. And those were a lot of the heavyweights of this Max Graphix Superspeedway series that you just named off there. And with that fast repair, though, you get that one. Maybe you engage it now and you keep your car clean the rest of the race. But a lot of big names caught up in that early action we've seen here in the Max Graphix Superspeedway series here, brought to you by Beer Street Journal. And Tim, I think we're going to see a lot more of that towards the end of this race.
Yeah, I do. I believe we are going to as well. These guys are really battling it out for the win here tonight. Only lap 12. So, you know, we got a long way to go.
Man, Tim, don't make it so such a bummer for the viewers. It's a long way to go, but you are in for some exciting action. And Tim, these Max Graphix, these NSRA drivers, they really put it down. And if you like what you're seeing tonight, check out the NSRA drivers. They race in all sorts of different series throughout this channel. I think they're going to be back up on Thursday nights in the trucks, and they race all sorts of different series. If you like what you're seeing out of this competition here, go check them out. And man, Tim, every week we get the same thing out of these guys. It's competitiveness, it's aggressiveness, it's the will to win. As we see the pace cars leading the field here, we're about 12 laps into this Talladega shootout here, if you will. We're going to see who's going to tame the beast that is Talladega. See if anybody elects to come down pit road. If not, it's probably going to be green flag the next time round. As the pace car leads them around, we have our first caution 10 laps into this race here tonight. And man, it has been exciting all night long. It's been 4 wide action in some cases. As you see the leader come down the pit here, that is, I believe that is Gleason in the number 7 car. He is riding down pit road here. Maybe he took some damage from that last accident we just saw here. We're under caution in the Max Graphix Superspeedway series here at Talladega, live on 10-4 Broadcasting. As you see some other cars come down pit road here, going to see the action picking back up here, Tim, and man, I'm excited already for this race. We're only not even halfway through. As we're watching Gleason come off pit road here in that number 7 car. He's been really consistent all season, just hasn't picked up that victory he's been looking for in this series. But as we talked about as the broadcast started, really anything can happen in this series if you pick up that victory. Although Nathan Maurer really has that points lead so far this season, halfway through, he only has 1 victory on the season. So if you can start racking up victories here towards the end of the season, it might be your championship to win. As we should be back under green here in the Max Graphix Superspeedway series next time round. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in here tonight.
Sorry about that. I was having issues with my headset, and I was trying to get that fixed. It looks like everything is good now. The lady in my ear kept talking and saying that there was something wrong.
We hear you loud and clear now, Tim.
Okay,
you came
good.
just in time to watch that green flag drop here 13 laps into this Max Graphix Superspeedway series. And once that green flag drops, we'll let you hear the sights and sounds of Talladega, and we'll stay quiet when that happens, and I'm sure we'll see some action once that green flag drops.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And it looks like Christopher Darling is about 2 laps down but nothing to worry on his part because he's the only driver laps down. So caution comes out, he's going to be the lucky dog.
As Martin Pluth leads him to the line, you're 14 laps in. We will stay quiet to let you guys take in the sights and sounds. That is Talladega. As we come back on the air here, it is Martin Pluth still leading that field down the backstretch here. He has led this race all night long as he is digging down into 3, still your race leader. He's building up that inside lane there, building up some friends down there. Trying to find some new best friends to do karate in the garage, but he is pulling off this.
Oh, I think I lost you, Will. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, that is modern technology for you, Tim, but I am still in the we are rocking and rolling as we see Mark leading down into 2.
And one driver I want to talk about really quick, Christopher Darling, just before the green flag on that restart. He was at the very back of the field. Now, an interesting strategy that he could play. His teammates are Martin Pluth and Ben Mashburn, who is currently leading or in the second place in that line. If they let Darling lead this, well, technically lead the field, he would automatically get both laps back because he'd be in front of the leader at the time of the caution, and he would be the lucky dog. That would be the best case scenario for Christopher Darling here today.
But do you want to let the big dog eat? And I think if you let Christopher Darling eat, he will take this race from everybody else. I don't think that's a strategy that I would want to let happen. Let him get those laps back, because that is one of the big heavyweights of this series. And as you mentioned in this green flag drop, he hasn't picked up a victory yet this season. So he is hungrier than a junkyard dog with that first victory.
Hungrier than a junkyard dog. I like that. I hadn't heard that one yet. I like it. And things are much quieter this time around after that restart. I think because it takes that first big one for these guys to realize, okay, I got to reel it in. I got to bring it back to earth, and I can't be driving like I was. And your driver that you chose here tonight, JT Poole. You did pick JT Poole, right?
No, I picked Nathan Maurer to win this.
You did.
I did.
We were talking about different drivers, and I forgot which was what. But yes, you're correct. You had taken Nate. Fortunately, it looks like JT Poole is out of this one. Not sure. It looks like he didn't even get started. Not sure what happened there, but last week's winner not going to make it here tonight. And right now, new leader, Singleton, Isaac Singleton. He is a very good. He has been so close in a lot of these races with these guys, but late race incidents have plagued him. Unfortunately, out here leading that inside lane right now.
They really have, Tim, and he's one of those drivers that I was speaking about with those underdogs or one of those guys under the radar to keep an eye out for that just hasn't gotten that victory so far this season, has ran really consistent, ran in the top 5, top 10, most of these races, and these races are chaotic. They are a bunch of chaos in a bottle, and these leaders sometimes get caught up in these late race accidents, and unfortunately for him, he's been one of those victims.
And right now, that outside lane led by Martin Pluth, really trying to, you know, those 3 guys I really think are trying to get around that inside lane, but it's going to be a task, especially when you've got 3 versus, looks like about 15 cars on that inside lane.
Yeah, Tim, I know you spoke about how you favored that outside lane, and you see a 3-car tandem digging up with Martin Pluth, your race leader.
Really good run.
To that high side.
You know, I'm eating my words right now because I said I didn't think they could do it, and here they're about to pass that entire inside line. And I'm going to say the reason for that is the distance between Jason Shrew and Shane Ward on the inside lane. If there's any gaps, that allows those top 3 cars they just cut through the air faster than that inside lane when they've got all these little gaps throughout the field. It's just not going to bode well for them.
It really won't, Tim, as we cross the line. 21 laps into this Max Graphix Superspeedway race here at Talladega. Brought to you by Beer Street Journal. If you haven't checked them out, go check them out for all your beer advice, which beers you should be drinking. As Martin Pluth is your race leader, digging down into 2 here. And Tim, man, as you were just speaking about, that bottom line has a lot of cars in it. And I think if they can tandem up and start stacking them up single file, although that outside lane has a lot of speed, it's not going to hold because there's too many cars in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and speaking of the Beer Street Journal, I was taking a look at their website the other day, and you have got to check them out. I'm telling you, they've got everything. They even talk about the Russian vodkas that everybody's dumping out, and I mean they got new releases for IPAs, seasonal returns, new beers. Right now I'm looking at a new beer on their website. It's called Southern Tier Confetti Cake Whiskey. Sounds intriguing.
It really does.
And that was just posted 6 minutes ago. So, I mean, they're constantly updating.
Oh, man. Maybe we can take a ride on with Stan Hausman, who's driving that Beer Street Journal car here tonight.
He's sitting in 6th place right now, bringing it up on that outside lane. I was watching him. He was the only driver up there and wasn't near these front guys, and he was able to use that draft to bring himself up here to this top lane, and this is just going to further help that inside lane get around this inside.
What was that beer you were mentioning?
I'm not sure if it was a beer, but the website says that it's a Southern Tier Confetti Cake Whiskey.
Oof! There we go. Maybe he's going to be sipping on some of that here tonight if he can take home this victory in that 93 Beer Street Journal machine there. And, man, he's putting in some work here tonight. As we watch, Singleton is your race leader here, but the race lead has changed several times, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to cross the line here. 24 laps into this 57-lap race here in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series, and it hasn't stayed single file at all in this race, ladies and gentlemen. It has been action-packed, 3-4 wide in some cases. We had our first caution at lap 10. Martin Pluth is now your race leader again as he leads the field down into 3, and you see a bottom line tandem stack up behind him. I believe that is Singleton in that 95 is right behind him. I believe it is Shane Ward in that 39, also trying to build some speed. But Tim, those heavyweights that you mentioned, Chris Darling is a few laps down, but he is pushing his buddy in Ben Mashburn in that 24, rocking no paint scheme here tonight, rocking the all-white machine. I can appreciate that. As they cross the line, it might be Ben Mashburn as he comes out on the inside to make a block across the line here, only 25 laps in.
I don't know if that was a good move, because now the issue is getting Christopher Darling in this front lane. Because now you kind of just left him out there by himself. But if people start coming out to the outside lane, that's going to help him get past him. Actually, I think Mashburn may have checked up the bottom lane a little bit so he could come down. And now he's going to clear that inside lane as he drops down. He is now only one lap down. If the caution flag was to come out right now, he'd also be your lucky dog.
Oh man, Tim, we saw a car go to the infield there on the backstretch as Chris Darling is looking like your race leader there, but he is a few laps down here. As Tim just mentioned, he would be your lucky dog if the caution does come out here. But it looks like your house favorite there, Tim, Ben Mashburn, who usually rocks kind of like a Jeff Gordon paint scheme for you, but rocking that 24 nonetheless. He is your race leader here, 26 laps into this Max Graphix Superspeedway Series at Talladega, brought to you by Beer Street Journal.
And just as you say that, John Canzaro is your new leader, being pushed by Chris Brown. New name I have not seen here tonight. Not sure if he was here last week, but he is showing what he can do here at Talladega with Christopher Darling still leading that inside lane. And they're going to do everything they can to keep him in front of the leader. That is their goal right now, is to get him back on the lead lap so he can be up here competing for that win.
Yeah, Tim, we've seen that strategy in some of these Superspeedway Series races before in this season, where cars are a few laps down, and we talked about how we've actually gotten confused here in the booth. Who is your race leader? We talked about maybe they should get out of the way, maybe they should go to the inside as they come around to coming down to the backstretch here. But sometimes they could be a good tool for you to use, as you just mentioned, to block off some of that speed behind you, work as a teammate. Even though the race might not be yours tonight, you could still work for your teammate a little bit.
And just like that, John shuts the door on that one. Right now, Darling back to 2 laps down just with one simple move like that.
As we have a new race leader, is John Canzaro in that 174, rocking some purple rims tonight. Orange creamsicle paint with some purple rims, Tim. He is out here to put on a show at Talladega and looking good doing it.
And usually he's sporting your grandfather's race car, typically. But tonight he's got a couple of these drivers just going with all one color. Oh, and there goes Darling to the outside with his teammates, Pluth and Mashburn, going to get him back to the front of the pack.
And we do have some Threat Level Midnight fans here in the chat watching this race here tonight, and they are putting on a show. As you see those top 3 drivers, I like to call them the Hendricks Motorsports of the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series here, because you always see them in the top 10. So, man, they are putting on a show getting here tonight and using their teammate, who is a lap down, as a good tool to block off some speed behind him.
And now hitting lap 29 of 57 here at Talladega. I'm going to say very soon, we're coming up on 20 laps of green flag racing. Last time these guys went down pit road was lap, looks like about lap 11, lap 12, depends on who you ask. So green flag pit stops will be coming. Just a matter of when and who's going to go in.
And Tim, I was speaking with my broadcast partner on Sunday. We had Mike up in the booth here, and we were talking about the pit stops and how, even though you don't have an actual pit crew that comes out and works on the car as you see in real life NASCAR, those pit stops really do mean a lot, and there is a lot of strategy and thought that goes into those.
Oh yeah, because there's, for instance, when I was running the Daytona 500 a couple weeks ago, my crew chief, Justin Petshower, good friend of mine, been racing with him for a lot of years. He stepped in. He lives in Vegas. I started racing at 5 a.m., so it's 3 a.m. his time. No, 2 a.m. Yeah, 2 a.m. And he was spotting for me and crew chiefing, and he was going back and forth telling me, 2 tires, no tires, fuel only. So you can make up a lot of time in those green flag pit stops if you just take what you need in fuel and not do a full pit stop. So A lot of strategy does go into that, and you can either win or lose a race based on those decisions.
You really can. It could be the deciding factor of whether you win or lose a race, as we see big moves coming down into one. That inside lane has been the preferred lane for these drivers all night long. I don't know if that is a lap car lead in the field, or is that Brown, our newcomer, leading the field. It is Chris Brown, our newcomer in this series. Maybe we just haven't seen racing in the field. He could be his first race here tonight. And man, what a win it would be for him in his debut race to take this victory from these big dogs here tonight.
And now that puts, as you call them, the Hendrick Motorsports of this series in 3 cars behind them. And I guarantee you they're going to look to the outside lane here again once they clear the 39 of Ward, if they can clear him. And right now, the way it's looking, right now, if a caution was to come out, Chris Darling would not get a lap back. Jeff Wyatt is ahead of him right now. Right there. As soon as Chris Darling passes Jeff Wyatt right here, that number 86, then he will be in front of him for the lucky dog.
As you're mentioning Jeff Wyatt, you see Chris Darling kind of ease out there to want to take his teammate Ben Mashman with him on the backstretch there, but nothing comes of it as the field passes this lap car on the inside lane there.
Oh, and look, he cuts him up.
Move.
He did that so that way they would stop. You know, he didn't want them to be drafting together, so he cut that friendship up right there. I mean, you saw him dive down quick to the inside faster than John did, and that got both of his teammates around him as well. So now they're sitting really good heading down the backstretch.
And cue the Johnny Cash him, because I hear that train a coming. They have those 3 threat level midnight drivers right behind him trying to take this newcomer off that lead position there. And boy, they are coming with that train and that speed.
Looks like Pluth kind of lost the draft of Mashburn there. Looks like I thought maybe they were going to come down pit road. There was a lot of space in between all the drivers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cross the line here. We're going to have less than 24 laps to go here at Talladega in the Graphix Superspeedway series here, brought to you by Beer Straight Journal, brought to you live on 10-4 Broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And as you see, Brown gets pushed to the side by that threat level midnight team behind him, led by Chris Darling in that 11, Ben Mashburn in that 24, and Martin Pluth in that 4.
That's Max Graphix team.
Oh, it's Max Graphix team. There we go. Holding it down for the title sponsor.
Yeah.
Holding it down for the title sponsor. That is my bad on that one there, Tim, but they are holding it down for the title sponsor. And whichever team they are racing for, man, they have come out with a strategy and they're holding it down.
Yeah, they're doing a great job right now. And we're still, let's see, we are on lap, 24 to go. We've not pitted since lap 12. So about 22 laps ago is the last time we were down pit road.
Speaking of a early pit stop there, Tim, what do you see any changes in the lap speed so far as the cars are starting to kind of get a little bit of wear on them?
Let me see. You know, honestly, for a place like Daytona and Talladega, your tire wear is so minimal. Like, when I was running the 500, I maybe changed tires once, and I was still at 99% tread. So I don't think these guys are concerned about that at all. Here at Daytona and Talladega, your times really don't drop off because of how massive the draft is.
You're seeing that draft really work for that Max Graphix team up in the front here, as Chris Darling, who is still a lap down, is leading his teammate there in the 24. I say lead because he is leading Ben Mashburn in that tandem at the top of the field here, working that draft as you just mentioned, and boy, they are pulling away with this thing.
Now, I will say, you can see on the pylon right now, the scoreboard, The fastest lap Mashburn ran was a 50.56, and his last lap was a 51.44. So about a second difference, and we got pit stops. Oh, coming in real hot. Not sure if he was able to slow down in time, but Chris Brown and John Canzonaro is on pit road, while Ben Mashburn still leads this one.
As we're going to see the field probably reshuffle here, Tim, how long do you have behind the wheel in the simulator to make those decisions, to make those strategies of what you're going to do on your pit stop?
Well, you know, for me, the strategy really starts as soon as the green flag drops, because you got to start making a strategy for if a caution comes out. If the leaders stay out, am I going to stay out? Am I going to go in? Am I going to have a little bit more fuel than they are? Just a lot of it's a chess game. As you see the leaders come down pit road, everyone's checking up. Gleason gets a huge run down pit road.
Now, Tim, is this strategy going to work for Chris Darling, though? He is still a lap down. Had he elected to stay out there, he could have gotten that lap back and made himself in position.
Here's the issue with that. He's on the same fuel situation as the rest of these guys. So he has no choice but to come in with them, because he would lose more time out on the trek if he stayed out than if he came in and got fuel with everybody else. So that was a smart choice by Chris Darling.
Good point there, Tim. Didn't think about that. As we have a new race leader, that is Nathan Maurer in that 971 as he's coming down for his pit stop here. He is our points leader here halfway through this Max Graphix Superspeedway series here, and he has been our most consistent driver so far this season. I believe putting up a top 10 in every race so far, Tim. That is unheard of. And if we were racing for some real money, man, he'd be making it rain on everybody.
Yeah, and he's going to come down into his pit box. Good stop there. Looks like you see these guys electing for no tires. You see that the cars are not going up on the jack, so they're just getting fuel and down and away they go. I do want to make a note. Garrett Gleason had the fastest pit stop out of everybody that round. Ran an 8.6 second pit stop. So he should be your leader as this all plays out.
And these races fly by, Tim. They are only less than an hour and a half long, most of them, but man, they are action-packed, fun-sized, crazy races we see out of the Max Graphix Superspeedway series here, Tim. We're going to see the field reshuffle here, and probably everybody line back up here with about 15 laps to go. Once everybody gets their pit stops out of the way, we're going to see who's going to take this prize here at the end.
And now this is where things really, you know, this is what I love about green flag pit stops. Your leader is Garrett Gleason. He's the biggest mover of the race here tonight, and I wish I could go back. It'd take me some time to find it, but I'm going to say the biggest move of the race here tonight was his move coming down pit road. He made so many passes on pit road that he was able to put himself in this position where he's at right now.
Talking about positions, we see that tandem we have been talking about all night long with Chris Darling and Ben Mashburn as we see a car hit pit road here. Maybe just forgot that we needed to make green flag pit stops.
Well, it looks like he got some damage of some sort. It looks like he may have caked the outside wall. Looking back through here to see if there was any notification of him doing so, but I'm not seeing it. But you see there was a lot of damage to the right side of that car as he used his fast repair to get right back out there.
Getting back up to the leaders here now. It's Canzonaro, still your race leader in that 174 orange cream score machine, coming down into one here. But man, that is quite the tandem building up on that outside lane there. I believe that is the newcomer Brown leading that heavyweight of a line behind him, and Stan Hausman, Martin Pluth, Ben Mashburn, and Chris Darling leading that outside pack there. Man, they are going too wide down the backstretch. These guys are getting swirly. They're getting choppy. They're going down into 3 with less than 17 to go here.
And then you see the field is pretty much all back together. You got your points leader back there sitting with his teammate. They're waiting to strike. If anybody plays this game of cat and mouse better than anybody else, it's got to be that team of Simbox Racing, because right now they're in a position where if something was to happen, they don't have to worry about it, because they'll have plenty of time to react and check up, and you don't have to worry about a guy behind you running you over because you got your teammate behind you.
Oh, 100%, Tim. And Nathan Maurer, I was trying to get him on our Countdown to Green show here live on Facebook before every green flag here in the Super Speedway Series. And I wanted to chat with him about how he's kept this consistency going. But, man, he's probably busy practicing, getting these practice laps in. And we've seen this practice pay off so far this season. So maybe we'll get to chat with him if he takes that checkered flag here tonight.
Well, he is so collective and calm throughout all these races, and he almost reminds me of kind of like Kevin Harvick, the closer, for a lack of a better term. He shows up when it's time and gets the job done.
And you have to appreciate that, Tim. He comes in, does his thing, and dips out, if you will, as they're coming down onto the backstretch here. It is still John Canizero is your race leader. He is holding it down, man. He is bringing that inside lane with him, coming down into 3, still John Canizero, but that outside lane is building up some speed, Tim.
Yeah, and these guys, Darling has gotten, and now at this point, the strategy that I spoke of, he's got to enact that. He's got to hope for caution. He's got to be leading this field, because right now, Jason Shrew in that number 3 is your current one lap down car. So when something does happen, Shrew's going to get that lucky dog, not Chris Darling.
Man, lucky dog, hungry dog, junkyard dog. It is time to bring out the dogs with less than 14 to go here in this Max Graphix Super Speedway Series here at Talladega, brought to you by Beer Street Journal. And man, it is time to make a move. As you see the field kind of snake together on that inside lane there, you'll start seeing tandems start to stack up if these boys want to take this victory here tonight.
You kind of wanted me to make me go find the song "Who Let the Dogs Out" and just start playing that.
You see it out of these drivers, Tim, in this Max Graphix Super Speedway Series. They start bringing the dogs out here with 10 laps to go, 5 laps to go. They start getting a little antsy, a little growly, if you will. They start barking.
We've only had one caution here tonight so far. I say so far because there's still plenty of time for some wild action here at Talladega. And now you see Darling go back to the outside with his teammates, and Stan Hausman going to the outside as well in that number 93 Beer Street Journal.
Hey, Tim, do you think we could take the viewers inside of Ben Mashburn's machine, brought to you by 10-4 Broadcast, and maybe take a view of that in-car camera and see what he's doing to Chris Darling? Even though Chris Darling is still a lap down, he is still working on that back bumper.
Whoa, checks up a little bit there. You can hear when he checks up because he's afraid he's going to accidentally turn him, and now they're going to get around that inside lane.
Taking a view at Ben Mashburn here. He is in that 24 machine, representing Max Graphix on that team here, and that team has dominated this race, if you will. They have been out in that lead pack. His teammate Chris Darling is out front of him, as you see, working that back bumper. Chris Darling is a lap down, so he is out of contention in this race as of right now, but he is still working with his teammates to see who's going to take this victory.
Oh! Was not clear for Mashburn, but Darling had to do what he had to do to get to that inside lane to stay in front of the leaders.
I know we have a Stan Hasman fan in the chat here, and you see Hasman in that 39 Beer Street Journal machine right behind this heavyweight dog pack of Ben Mashburn and Martin Pluth right here. You see Stan Hasman in that 39 try to creep to the outside, to try to get a little bit of a different draft from Martin Pluth there to see if he can get enough speed to try to take that lead from Ben Mashburn.
Wow, look at Chris Brown. Big run on the outside. Wow, Canzanaro goes to the outside. Brown by himself on the outside. as they dive down to this inside lane. This is an interesting perspective of the race, just kind of looking back from the leader's point. And, yeah, it's just, this is so cool.
These camera views are brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting. If you are liking tonight's broadcast, definitely go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Give us a like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Bring you all the best iRacing action that we can. But we are live tonight in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series here, Tim. We are less than 10 to go.
I can't believe 10 laps to go here at Talladega. I'm telling you, when it sticks the green flag, it goes by fast. And the time is ticking for Christopher Darling. What's that one song? Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I never said I could sing, so I apologize, everybody. But time is of the essence right now for Christopher Darling in that number 11, who right now is on that inside lane, fourth car back. He's got... Because right now, Jason Shrew is still ahead of him on the scoreboard. So it's a caution can come out, and Darling could still be on the outside looking in.
You can, Tim, and we might see a scenario like that as they come down at the backstretch. It has been Mashburn as your race leader, but there are some moves being made on that outside lane there. We'll see if there's enough speed there to contend with him. We see Chris Brown and John Canizero trying to battle on that outside lane there to try to stack up some speed as they dig down into 3.
Heading through turn 3 and 4. Now that number 95 of Isaac Singleton and Shane Ward and that number 39 are trying to come along on the outside lane and get behind that number 1 and 174. As they've unofficially been really good drafting buddies here tonight.
And break out those brewskis because we are 8 to go here in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series here, brought to you by Beer Street Journal. And man, Tim, we have seen that Max Graphix team just dominate this race all night as we're seeing a 2-car drag race going down the backstretch here between Chris Brown and Ben Mashburn.
Coming up on Jason Shrew, that's going to give the, let's say, finally pass him. That will give the lucky dog back to Darling, see if he can make it up there. As long as nothing happens beforehand. Well, then 95 trying to get some of that side draft off that inside lane. And this is where things get dicey. A lot of drivers get nervous passing a lap down car, but just everybody hold your line, get through there. You see Darling backed off a little bit. I think he's trying to figure out what he's got to do to make these moves happen. Because right now he's kind of like in a deadlock, stuck there on that inside lane, fourth car back.
And as you said, Tim, that time is slipping away from these drivers, and it is time to go. Next time around this line, it's going to be less than 6 to go. We apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in here tonight. We usually give you interviews from these drivers. We usually chat about the sponsors, but man, it has been non-stop action here from about lap 10 on, and it has been non-stop. We haven't had a chance to do any of that for you, ladies and gentlemen, but man, we hope you have been enjoying the action so far here tonight.
They are nose to tail, inside lane, outside lane, all sticking together. And now Jason Shrew finally drafting with this team, these guys. And now there's a battle inside of the battle here. Looking back here at Christopher Darling, the 11, and the 3 of Jason Shrew. These two are battling for the lucky dog. So it's a whole other kind of battle.
It is time to battle, Tim. Talking about dogs, it is time to let those dogs out. Cue up the Baja Men because it is time to go. The next time around this line is going to be less than 5 to go here in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series, live from Talladega, brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting and Beer Street Journal. Has been the Max Graphix team show all night long. Whoa, big moves there on the inside lane there, but we have seen a lot of action from Chris Brown, a newcomer in this series. He has come to play here, ladies and gentlemen, in less than 5 to go.
All right, Darling's making those moves. It looks like he may have door slammed the 95 of Isaac Singleton, but I mean, Darling's in go mode. It's desperation at this point. What he wants is to be leading this field when a caution does come out. and he'll be put back on the lead lap. Darling has not had that great of a season compared to last season. Only, I think, one top 5 we said earlier. It's really the story, to me, of the night because he was so strong last year. He had multiple wins back-to-back.
Ooh.
That was close.
Whoa, big drift out of Ben Mashburn there in the 24. Sorry to interrupt you there, Tim. We almost had the leaders stake themselves out there coming out of 4, and you see it again on the front stretch here. You're seeing the diciness pick up here in this Max Graphix Superspeedway.
As I like to call it, things are getting spicy out here on the racetrack. And now Darling's going to drop back down into that inside lane. It's just going to be, it's going to be hard. He doesn't have his teammates pushing him anymore. They're up there fighting for the win right now. Mashburn in second, Pluth in third. But what if Stan Houseman could pull away with this win here tonight in that number 93 Beer Street Journal?
That would be amazing, Tim, to come out the victor in the first title sponsor race for Beer Street Journal in this Max Graphix Superspeedway series here. They had some big news. I wanted to chat with him about that in this race, but we are less than 3 to go. We haven't seen any stoppage in the action since lap 10 of this. Man, we're going to cross the line with less than 3 to go here, Tim. It is Chris Brown, the newcomer, leading the field.
But if I was him, I'd be real nervous because right behind him, he's got teammates. And all it takes is for them to make their move. But if those teammates make that move and he goes to block, guess who is next in line? Stan Houseman. That's what I'm watching for. And now your points leader trying to make his move on that outside lane of the very back there with Justin White and Doug Neal. Oh, Darling trying to do everything he can to find somebody to help him, somebody to push him. Nobody's working with him.
His time has come and gone, Tim. I believe Chris Darling is not going to be a contender in this race. He might be a contender next week, but he has been a great teammate for his team so far, as he's got Ben Mashburn in P2 right behind our race leader, Chris Brown, as we're coming down into 2. Chris Brown, a newcomer in their series, has come out, showed out. He said, I'm going to come in, I'm going to win a race, similar to what Ryan Vargas did a few months ago in the Super Speedway series, and he is... Oh, you see the leaders get loose on the backstretch.
They touched. It was a bad push, and now it's going to let that outside lane really catch up as we head off into turn 3 and 4, coming down to the white flag. If they take the white flag, the next flag is going to call it. And if they do, there'll only be one caution the entire race.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is our Beer Street Journal last call. White flag as the leaders wreck coming across the line.
Caution is out.
Chris Brown lead him to the line. We're going to have overtime in the Max Graphix Speedway series.
Darling. That's it. It's over for Darling. That ruined his car. Let's see who else it may have taken out. Oh, took out Martin Pluth, Garrett Gleason. Oh, a points leader. Looks like Doug Neal is good. John Kenzanaro got some damage. Shane Ward got a little bit of damage there. Isaac Singleton, a little bit of rear end damage. Ben Mashburn looks like he's good. Woo! All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back and take a look at this one.
And Tim, as you're revving up that 10-4 broadcasting replay, I'm going to see if I can't get our race leader, Chris Brown, on the radio for an in-car interview here.
Sounds great. You see, Darling's leading that middle lane, and it looks like Chris Brown may have come up, and there's just so much momentum behind that 11 car. Oh, he's already trying to check up. He dives down the inside. Oh, they both get sideways. Comes down into his teammate of Pluth, spins him, comes back up, misses Justin White, tags that outside wall, collects that 174, the 95. Chaos just erupts from there. Gleason gets involved. Oh, just unfortunate. It looks like Doug Neal does get a piece of it. Oh, he gets door slammed a little bit, but he's able to hold on to it. Man.
Talking about chaos and calamity, we have our race leader on the radio here. Hey, this is Will and Tim in the 10-4 broadcasting booth here. Chris, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Oh, man. Is this your first time in the Max Graphix Superspeedway series, or we just haven't seen you up front yet?
Yeah, this is my first time in here.
Man, showing out for your season debut, man. What's it been so far? How have you held on the leads all race long, basically?
Well, you know, I've got a good teammate here in John. I didn't mean to cause that wreck there. I know those guys aren't happy, but it's super speedway racing. I had to do what I had to do to keep those guys behind me. I might have moved up a little bit late, but it's just super speedway racing, man. It sucks.
Hey, you just out there pulling Joey Logano moves. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I about got turned around. I wouldn't have been mad because it would have been my fault, but it's just super speedway racing, man. I had to do what I had to do there.
It's the name of the game. I mean, you're out there. I mean, surprisingly, I mean, you had that thing just on watching the replay. You had that thing sideways from getting loose from the air, getting pulled from the back of you, coming up into that middle lane. I mean, it's not a cakewalk when it comes down to these last final laps. Everybody's trying to take the same spot that you're holding on to. So, kudos to you.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, Chris, before we let you go here, it is your debut. What do you think is going to be the key to taking that victory here tonight?
Man, I'm a sitting duck right now, so this is going to be more of the same. I'm either going to be able to block these guys off or I'm going to get turned around.
Man, if this is just a sample of what you can do on these Super Speedway series, man, we are excited to have you in this league with us. And, man, before we let you go, are there any sponsors or any teammates that you want to shout out before we let you go take that checkered flag?
Yeah, I'm just going to let give a shout out to my wife. She let me race tonight, so.
I like that. I'd be saying the same thing. She let me race tonight. Amen.
Exactly. Alrighty, Chris. Well, good luck the rest of the way, man, and hopefully we speak to you in victory lane.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
No problem. And that was Chris Brown. He is our race leader. He has been showing out for his first race, Tim, and we saw it out of our 10-4 broadcasting partner the other night in the Big Show 125. You come into these things for your first time, you come in cold, and it might just be the best thing for you.
That's a great shot looking out to the pace car, but yeah, we're riding on the side of Chris Brown right now. Doing a great job here tonight. Making that number one car look good out there in that Chevrolet Camaro. But, to the outside of him, man, he's got Ben Mashburn, Stan Hausman behind him. He's got Justin White, who actually, you know what? I think I chose Justin White here tonight. I remember I talked about him, said that he's been so close, and I think it's his time. Sitting in P3 right now.
It might be his time, but it also might be Stan Hausman's time. He might come in with that good news in victory lane of their title sponsor. I know we have some Stan Hausman fans in the chat. And Jake Whitcomb is one of those fans in the chat cheering him on here. He's got a new fan in Jake Whitcomb in that 93 machine and the Beer Street Journal. Man, we are in for a finish here, Tim. I can't wait to let the viewers hear the sights and sounds of Talladega once that green flag drops here, because we're going to be less than 2 to go once that green flag drops.
Man, I can't wait. It looks like there's a little bit of damage to the front of that number 93, but I don't think it's going to affect him too much. And he's got Stephen Ford behind him. The threat level midnight guys are back here side by side with Shane Ledoux, Shane Tierney, Stephen Ford. We're called in the Triple S threat. That's what.
It's the Triple S threat, but as Mitchell Adams, a viewer of this broadcast, had just mentioned, it is our Beer Street Journal last call. It is about to be white flag. We're going to have 2 to go here, ladies and gentlemen. The last time we tried to do this, we had a wreck just as we tried to take that white, but here we go in the sights and sounds of Talladega.
Just inside the Geico restart zone. And there we go. Oh, big checkup in the middle of the field. That's going to really break things up, but that means they're going to have a huge run coming up on them. It's going to take them a lap to get up to speed, but look at Garrett Gleason already making moves to the inside lane. Right now, Justin White tried to catch up to that number 1, but that outside lane of Mashburn and Houseman going to have a lot of speed because they've been locked since the start of the green flag of the restart. And then you see all the other drivers catching back up with that draft. Heading down the backstretch, Mashburn is currently your leader. And it's such a beautiful sight. I didn't even know what to say when I was looking at that. Side by side. Now Chris Brown back to the lead. Justin White to the outside. Going to get in front of Ben Mashburn. Now here goes Threat Level Midnight all the way to the outside.
And this is your Beer Street Journal last call. White flag, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. 3 wide going down into 1.
Oh, 12 car into the wall. Side by side. This is oh, Tierney gets a little tight. Pushes up.
It's time to go. We're having a 2-car drag strip down the backstretch here between Chris Brown. Between White. Oh, you see getting loose on the backstretch coming down into 3. It is still Chris Brown, your race leader, digging down into 4.
Who's going to make the move? Gleason to the inside. Tierney to the inside. Ward to the inside.
It's the 19 of Shane Tierney. He's going to make a move on the outside. Let's see if he has enough speed to go. He will not. It's going to be still going to be
Singleton.
Who's going to be your race winner here? It's going to be Chris Brown in that 1 car. That thing, 007 car, I don't know. He came in on his debut. He takes this checkered flag here tonight. Man, he registered 007 on my grid, but he came in like James Bond, and he took that prize here tonight. Man, what a win from Chris Brown.
Man, what a last 2 laps. Able to hold them off. A lot of guys are making their charge. Gary Gleason finishing second. Just getting the rear end slammed off of that car. You can see it there. Isaac Singleton had a huge run on that outside. Martin Pluth finishing 4th. Shane Tierney in 5th, having a good run. And yet again, Justin White comes up just a little short. Stephen Ford comes home 7th. Stan Houseman comes home 8th. John Canzanaro 9th. Shane Ledoux 10th. Ben Mashburn all the way back to 11th. Finishes outside the top 10. Shane Ward in 12th. Doug Neal 13th. Your points leader coming home in 14th. Jason Shrew 15th. Jeff Wyatt 16th. Christopher Darling rounds it out in 17th.
And some unfortunate news coming out of that grid, Tim. Nathan Maurer's streak has ended at Talladega. Of his top 10 finishes in each race so far this season, he finishes outside the top 10 for the first time, but all the attention should go to the newcomer in Chris Brown, who is burning them down, taking home this victory here tonight. He took down the Hendrick Motorsports, that is Max Graphix iRacing team, that came with the power here tonight in Chris Brown and Mark Pluth, but he said, watch me nay, watch me whip, I'm going to take this race here tonight, and he did that exact thing, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for the rest of the season.
Man, what a way to come in here and win it off. His teammates over here, John Canzanaro, congratulating him. Garrett Gleason finishing second there in that number 7. Man, what a show.
That is the perfect adjective to describe tonight's broadcast, Tim. It has been non-stop, high-octane action, and I expect nothing less from these Max Graphix Superspeedway drivers in this series. They bring it every Wednesday night live at 8:30 on 10-4 Broadcasting. We saw more of that action here tonight. It was non-stop from about lap 10 on. And usually when you say things like that, you talk about a boring race, but this was far from boring. It was dicey. It was squirrely. We were talking about letting the dogs out. And man, what a race here tonight here, Tim.
Yeah, and I'm just getting the interviews set up here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in third place finisher Isaac Singleton for you.
Catching up with Isaac Singleton, catching up with him on pit road. Isaac, you come home P3 here tonight, man. I know it's not the finish you wanted to see, but man, there was a lot of speed in that top pack.
Yeah, I was just hoping for the best going through the whole field.
Yeah, we saw that Max Graphix team kind of dominate this race here in Chris Darling and Martin Pluth. Did you feel like you had anything for them here towards the end, or did you see a strategy of taking them down?
No, they're real strong. I got lucky.
Luck may be it, man, but you ran really strong here tonight. Coming home P3, talking with Isaac Singleton here, catching it with him on pit road. Man, it was a high octane race all night long. Only I think one caution was on lap 10, and then it was pretty wide out from there. Did you like that style of race?
Oh yeah, green flag race, and it was fun.
You just kind of let it go all out there, man. And since you got that podium finish here tonight, before we let you go, is there anybody you wanted to shout out? Any sponsors? Anybody that you had watching here tonight?
Nope.
Right on, man. I like that. A man of less words that we need, man. You're keeping it short, keeping it simple, man. Coming home here, P3, Isaac Singleton, man. And have a good night, man. We look forward to see what you have for next week.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Isaac.
All right.
Man, coming on P3, he had a really strong. Early on in the race, he was showing out, but it just came just a little short. Awesome paint scheme, by the way, driving that Nerf gun paint scheme. But let's go ahead and bring Garrett Gleason in here, coming home second place. Man, Garrett, kind of take me through your race. It's very rare that you get a race like this that you get one caution and that's it.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate everyone keeping this thing under green for the most part there. I certainly appreciate it for those of us who have to get up early in the morning. But
Amen.
this series puts on a good show. These guys are getting to the point where I think the respect will eventually get there even more so. We're getting close, and I think we're going to be able to do these flag to flag green pretty soon here. And I can't wait for that. But I'm getting sick of these second place interviews. I told you guys I want to get the win. I want to retire. What do we got to do out there?
Well, okay. See, the problem is I can't pick you because it seems like if you know all about the announcer's curse.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I can't even think about somebody without them spinning out in track, and it's pretty bad. And then I got my broadcast partner calling me the wrong name, and I know you guys don't have that sort of problem up here in the booth.
No, we don't, Garrett. This is Will up in the booth here with Tim, and man, you kind of snuck up the field there. We didn't see you in that lead pack there. At least we weren't calling your name, but we kind of sneaking up through the field there to take down that Max Graphix team.
Yeah, well, first of all, keep my name out of your mouth, all right? I don't want you to jinx me, so I appreciate that. But I try to keep this number 7 rocking a different paint scheme all the time. I have a lot of great designs from Chris Darling at Max Graphix, and Mike Tellier's made me some awesome paint schemes as well. So I switch it up every week, and they don't know what car's coming. And I try to make my way up through the field. But I have so many great friends, and I wanted to work with them. Chris Darling went a little too early for me at the end. I would have went with him. Justin White was rocking the other Chevy accessory scheme. I would have worked with him. Just wound up working with Chris there and John Cannizzaro, who I don't know. I hope he sends me a check or something because that was more time than I ever wanted to spend with him.
I'm gonna send I guess I'll send a nice video message over to Peter Short and talk to him about calling you different names. Get that fixed.
Hey, you can call me whatever name you want. Just remember the safe words, pumpernickel. All right.
That's it. Oh man! Speaking with the driver,
great.
The number 7 machine here, coming home P2, and we had a newcomer take home the victory here tonight, man. Before we let you go, what do you think about the new dog coming in and taking out you big dogs?
Oh, hey, that's one way to make your mark on this series in this league. We had it in the Thursday and Friday series with Maxwell Castro and drivers of his caliber coming in, winning it. So you come in, your first race you win, you're only going to be disappointed from there. Guys like me who haven't won a race, we still have that goal and something to shoot for every week. Maybe next week, maybe Chris will retire on air. Maybe you guys will have one heck of an interview here coming up.
Hey, that sounds great. Well, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I just want to, as always, thank Justin, Chris, Colin for putting this show on. Thank my spotter, Mike Tellier. He's been trying to get me more aggressive, and it's like teaching an old dog new tricks, but we're finally getting there. My good friend Jason Shu, it's nice to see him mixing it up as well. Appreciate it, everything you guys do, and I look forward to doing this again next week, and maybe we'll eventually get that first place interview.
Sounds great. Once again, congratulations on second place, and hopefully next week we'll hear, because next week looks like Daytona Legacy, so hopefully you'll bring home that W next week.
Thanks, guys.
It was Garrett Gleason, driver of that number 7 And I'm going to go ahead and pull in the race winner here tonight, and it's all yours, Will.
Yeah, Tim, I'm in victory lane here as the echoes of Sweet Home Alabama are playing in the background, and we are here with your race winner, Chris Brown. Man, you take home the victory here tonight in the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. It's just hard racing there. I appreciate the 7 pushing me to the win there. He didn't have to stick with me. He had plenty of space to pull out and go around me.
We saw chaotic racing there at the end, man. You held on to it. You kept that car out front. What do you think it is that gives you that advantage over these guys that have been running this series so far? What do you think it was here tonight that gave you that advantage to take home the victory?
I don't think I really have an advantage. It's just super speedway racing. If you've got good teammates to go with you, then you're going to be out front. Kind of like the 11, those guys, that whole team led this whole race pretty much. And I just got John Cannizzaro behind me and the 7 car, and I was able to get up to the front and stay there.
Now, as the beer and the celebration continues here in Victory Lane, we talked with a few drivers about how this race was wide open. We only saw one caution there at lap 10. Do you prefer that style of racing, or did you want to see the field kind of get bundled up back up again?
I kind of like it to be bundled up in the end. I like the white knuckles type of racing, 3 wide. I don't know. I just like doing that stuff. So I kind of wish it would have got bundled up, but it kind of spread out there at the end.
Well, man, we saw it there, and we're speaking with Chris Brown, the race winner here. We're celebrating in Victory Lane with him. And Chris, we see that you took home the victory in your debut. Are we going to see you at all the rest of the way here?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm not real sure how it's going to go the next few weeks. I think I got a few guys mad at me, but definitely wasn't intentional to cause a wreck. I think I was pretty clear, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, maybe we can run through the end of the race there to check on it before we wrap this broadcast here with you. Before we let you go, man, I know you're celebrating here in Victory Lane. Anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors? Anybody you had watching here tonight?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to White Owl Performance, Christian Jones Boudoir, and again, my wife for letting me race tonight.
Oh, man. Well, good shout out to them. And, man, congratulations on that race victory here tonight, man. What a debut from Chris Brown. And, man, we look forward to see what you have for us in store for next week.
Yeah, hopefully we can get another win. Appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast, too.
Awesome.
Course,
thanks, man. Congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That was Chris Brown, newcomer and race winner here tonight, Will. Unbelievable finish.
It really was, Tim. Man, what a finish that was. We saw chaos crossing that line like we see every week in this Max Graphix Superspeedway race here, brought to you by Beer Street Journal. And, man, not much of a race recap we can give the folks here. It was wide open most of the race. We saw a caution on lap 10, and then from lap 10 on to the end, it was basically wide out. We saw 3 wide, 4 wide racing at some points in the race. Everybody kept it clean. Everybody was racing awesome there. And as we take a look at the ending here, I know Chris was worried about some of the intentions he may have had there at the end, but this, like he said, this is super speedway racing here. Things happen. We saw Chris Darling working with his teammates up at the top there, and man, we saw another first-time winner in this Max Graphix Superspeedway series here, live on 10-4 broadcasting, brought to you by Beer Street Journal. And man, Tim, as we take a look at that ending here, it was chaos crossing the line, as it always is in this Max Graphix Superspeedway series.
Just taking the viewers back through the different cautions that we did have. Man, what a great race. Trying to find the final. There we go, the white flag. You see that inside lane had such a good run, and then like you said during the broadcast, things got really squirrely heading down the backstretch between that 24 and 2, and that really broke up a lot of these guys. And right now, look at Isaac back there in that 95, all the way back here, coming to turn 3 and 4. And look at him shoot up here. He's going to finish 3rd place.
And this is really a synopsis of what happened the entire race here, Tim. We saw this style of racing wide out the entire race. As you see, Chris Brown going to lead them to the line here. And you really didn't see much competition at the line, but you did see a lot of speed coming from that outside. But it just seemed like Chris had that inside lane locked down there at the finish.
He really did. But before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to Brookstone Animal Hospital, one of our sponsors here at 10-4 Broadcasting for the Max Graphix Superspeedway Series. Shout out to them. Shout out to Max Graphix, of course. Makes some fantastic paint schemes for your everyday use on iRacing. I want to give a shout out to Taz Racing Customs. You want a custom die-cast car of your own car, just head on over there and Taz will take care of you. I want to give a shout out to the Beer Street Journal, the best in beer. Make sure you check out beerstreetjournal.com and check out that birthday cake whiskey I was talking about earlier. And oh, not that one. And that's the sponsors. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. So next week we will be at Daytona, same time, 8:30 on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, and you'll get a notification when we do go live. We'll bring you all the action here as we are halfway through this season, Will.
We are, Tim, and if you haven't tuned, if this was your first time tuning in tonight, we appreciate everybody who did so. You just got a glimpse of what this series can provide. The high octane races, the sweaty palms, the white knuckle racing. As our second place finisher, Chris Brown was mentioning, our winner was talking about he prefers that style of racing. And if you prefer that style of racing, tune back in here at 8:30 Eastern next week. Man, Tim, these viewers are in for a treat every week.
Yeah, fantastic. Doing a great job week in and week out. And, man, I can't wait for next week.
No, and the boys hit the Daytona Legacy next week there, Tim.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And it's going to be fantastic the rest of the season. And we hope to see you guys next week. And from all of us here, Tim,